What is up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. I am here right now with my co-host DeeDee. Say hello to DeeDee right now. So this is my first time covering Love in Paradise. We're seasons behind. This is season 3, episode 1. But I am here. We decided to cover it. I'm obsessed with the show. Like, I'm obsessed with the islands, beautiful people, and the fact that it started on Discovery Plus and then it spilled its way back over to TV. So I'm about all of it. So sorry that I'm late to the party, but I'm here. So I want to start out and talk about the first new person that we met on this episode, and her name is Jessica. She lives in Wyoming. I'm not 100% sure where Wyoming is on the map, but I know it's a state because I did learn that in school. And she explained to us how small of a town she lives in. It's called like Torrington. And it's like 5,000 people, and they have like a city center where no one's driving in. And we learned about her and her family, her kids, and we learned that she likes to get out of town, which I can relate to. I like to go on vacation. She likes to go on cruises, her and her friend Megan. And while they were on a cruise, she met, her words, not mine, most beautiful man that she's ever seen in her life. His name is Juan, and she met him on a cruise ship. And he's a cruise ship bartender. And it turned into this budding romance, right? And she said that after 9 months, she started to go see him every month. Every month. Like, she would go back to either a cruise that he was on, she would go to Colombia to see him. And it's getting very serious because they're engaged. And the only thing that she really needs to worry about at this point, well, there's two things. I'm going to just jump in. There's two things, right? So one is a bartender known as the hot bartender. So he flirts all day. He hates flirt, and there are women, beautiful single women, by the way, who are on cruises and looking to have a good time that are surrounding him all the time. And I know that Jessica is there a lot, like every month, but she can't watch him 24/7. So that's one worry. I always worry about temptation. It brings you back to like the Garden of Eden. It's just temptation. It's hard for people to say no to things. But then there's the idea that Juan is a single man and she has two young boys, sons, who are looking, to make Juan their stepdad. They love him. And it's like, is he going to be ready for that? So I want to get your first impression of Jessica and Juan and this whole entanglement of what she has going on with Juan now.
My take on it is that this is going to be a very interesting couple. Very interesting. First, he's on a cruise ship. He meets hundreds and thousands of single women. He is traveling the world, and she comes from this little bitty town of 5,000 people that she said smells like cow poop. I mean, he's going to go from living on a cruise ship, traveling the world, to a little bitty town in Wyoming smelling cow poop. So, and not only that, going to be taking care of 2 children.
So now that you brought that up, I'm going to add to the 3 things to worry about. I said 2 things to worry about. Now he has the 3rd thing to worry about. Okay, you can go ahead.
It is, yeah. This is going to be a very interesting couple. I'm excited to see where they're going to end up. So, yeah.
I just want to say one more thing. So Jessica brought Megan on the trip with her, and the trip was actually for one to spend time, like a week with the boys, like as a family. Jessica, don't bring a babysitter with you. Like, that's not going to defeat the purpose, because we know Megan is going to be stuck with the boy while you and Juan are out doing adult things. So I wanted to be real life. Yeah,
yes,
like I want
to be spending time together.
Right. It needs to be real life situations. And when you have kids, it's a real life thing. There isn't always be so I wanted him to see what it's really like, because he's going to be coming to live with you. He needs to know what it's really like with just you and the boys and him together. Because Megan being there is going to make it so much easier, because you can go out and do things. She'll be there to watch the boys. That might not always be the case. So I want him to have a full picture of what he's getting into, because a town that smells like cow manure, that only has 5,000 people, that barely has cars on the road, I want him to know what's going on. Like, he's a cruise ship guy in beautiful places all the time. He needs to know what's going on for real.
Yeah, he needs to wake up and see exactly what he's getting himself into. Taking care of children is not easy, and she said that every time they're together, it's like being on vacation. They have fun. Well, he's supposed to have a rude awakening because it's not always fun when you have kids around. It's fun, but not as fun.
There is nothing untrue about that statement. Okay, so I want to talk about Scott and Lydia, kind of Nicole too. Nicole's in there too. So Scott, Lydia, and Nicole. Let's just throw it in there as that. So Scott's from Florida. He's 51, and Allie is the main girl in his life. Now, don't get worried. Allie is this beautiful dog that he dresses and he bathes and he treats like a human being. He takes her to the shop and buys her ice cream. Like, it was a beautiful relationship between them. But like, honestly, that's kind of weird, Scott. Like, honestly, like a little bit kind of weird, but that's okay. That's okay. He was married for 25 years to his high school sweetheart. It didn't work out. And of all people in the entire world, Alejandro, Alejandro from Family Chantel, who was dating Nicole, Lydia's daughter, who Lydia literally threw out of her house and threw him down the stairwell. This is the guy who introduced Scott to Lydia. And Lydia's like, of all the things that I hate about Alejandro, have to say that I love the fact that he introduced me to Scott. And I'm like, see, the one guy you were throwing out of the house that you chased around the park and tried to hit with first, the one guy who was looking out for you when he was at the gym.
Go
and said,
figure.
hey, right? See,
go figure.
This is why when you're in traffic and someone cuts you off, don't just really, really fast flip them off. It might be the person who's gonna hook you up. Love of life. Stop reacting so quickly. So Lydia, who hasn't dated for 12 years, is now jumping back into the dating pool. And I kind of Nicole is like, well, remember how you were so harsh to me when I was trying to find love and you were so picky and you gave me such a hard time? Well, she's like, welcome to my world, Mom, because that's exactly how I'm going to do this with you. And I love that for Nicole, because Nicole, you went through so much. I literally remember Nicole sitting and outside crying on episodes, like, because she couldn't go out with Alejandro. She had to hide him like he didn't exist in the world. That's how serious it was. So now Nicole is like, now I get to be the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, evil, a devil's advocate. So she's like, I'm going to make sure that he's the right guy for you and he's going to treat you right. And can we talk about real quick, Scott doesn't speak any Spanish and Lydia doesn't speak any English. So how does that work?
That is going to be very interesting because they're going to have to use translators all the time. I mean, like, and then we all know that the translators 95% of the time isn't even saying what they're actually saying. So it's a lot of misinterpretation. And this is going to be a very interesting couple. But it was funny that how Nicole was saying that she was going to be the mom figure in this relationship. She was going to let her mom see exactly how it feels.
Oh my God!
Yes.
I don't blame Nicole has been through hell and back with her mom. No man, Nicole said it, no man who was born to earthly body was good enough for her. No matter what she did, no matter what he did, no matter what school he went to, what school he go, he was just a bad choice for her. So Nicole, get her back. This is your chance.
Pay back, Lydia. Pay back.
Everything that even looks remotely like a red flag, even if it's yellow or orange, just go off on her. Just go off. Just be like, nope, you know what, Mom? No, there's no chance. Kick him to the curb. You do not need that. You are better than this. I will disown you as my mom. You know, like, don't even do it. Don't even let her be happy, because that's how she treats you, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, payback is a B, and Lydia's fixing to get it.
I'm excited to see where this goes because, you know, we've watched Lydia and Nicole for a long time. You know, we watched them on Chantel. We watched from Pedro and Chantel's beginning of their relationship to their marriage to the end of their relationship. Like, we watched the whole thing. So now we're going to watch Lydia go through this process. And I'm just wondering how this is going to be, because Lydia's kind of cold-hearted. You know, the idea of her having a heart at all, you know, that was a little shocking for me. I was like, really? You want to be like in a relationship? I didn't see that for you. All right. Okay. We've taken up too much time on that. We have to talk about Valentine and Carlos. And I knew that they were still together because I peeped social media. I was stalking them. I knew that they were still together. But what I didn't know was, over the past few years, they've broken up like constantly. Like, I didn't know that. Like, they don't advertise that. So I wasn't aware. And the most recent time, right, like 3 weeks before their wedding, which I think is a huge red flag. Like if you're breaking up, once you get married, you can't just break up. It's not like that anymore. So they were having this argument, and there's this woman. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. There's this woman named Michelle. Michelle is a friend of Carlos's. And okay, so Carlos, as we know, identifies as gay. That's what he told us last season. I'm not putting words in his mouth. That's what he told us. He then told us this season that he is actually bisexual. And I didn't know that. He didn't tell us. So this is news to us. Maybe Valentine knew. I don't know. But there was a girl named Michelle, and he had feelings for her. And he wanted to be together. He wanted to be together with her. And he tried to pursue her. He told her, and this would be Valentine and Carlos met in person. So that's a timeline for you guys. It wasn't like while they were together. I mean, they were together, but not like physically in person. So Michelle didn't feel the same way. So Carlos take the rejection as an end of their friendship, and they're still close. So here's where the problem is. Valentine, who is polyamorous, means he can love more than one person at the same time. Carlos didn't like that about him last season. So he was like, you can't love more than one person. You should just love me. So Valentine is like, how did you love her and me if you're not polyamorous? He's like, because you told me I couldn't love more than one person other than you. So that was a really good point. So Valentine is like, you keeping her in your life, I feel like is something that is making me trust you less, because you've admitted to me that you wanted something with her. It just didn't happen because she didn't feel the same way. And now the dilemma comes in because the wedding is coming up and Carlos wants Michelle to be at the wedding. And obviously Valentine does not want someone to be at his wedding that was once very close to stealing his husband away if he would have been interested. And I actually agree. Like, why should she be there? So instead of just flat out saying no, because Valentine is a very reasonable man. So Valentine decided that he's going to go to Colombia and he's going to meet this Michelle, try to get a vibe from her. And then he'll decide from there, because it's true. You shouldn't hate someone you've never met. I do agree with that. It's like, you can't say, well, I like her because you've never met her. So he's going to go and he's going to meet her. He's going to try to feel her out and see if it's possible that she can be trusted, be invited to the wedding. So what do you think of all this craziness? Because in my mind, I thought they were doing fine the whole time. So I was a bit shocked.
I was shocked too, because they were one of my favorite couples from last season. I was so excited that they were going to be back on the season. But Valentino can't really say anything, because whenever they started hanging out, they were in their break. I think it was like a 2 or 3 week break that they were in. So he really can't get upset because he had another relationship with someone. But at the same time, he is poly, and he's expecting Carlos to be okay with him to be poly, but he's not being okay with Carlos being bisexual. I mean, there's got to be, a medium there. And I wouldn't want someone that I knew that my fiance was, possibly intimate with, because they did say that they were intimate, just not sexually, but it got almost to there. So yeah, I'm in agreement with Valentino. She shouldn't be there at all.
Yeah, I think that it's always a bad practice to invite people to your wedding that make anyone feel uncomfortable, especially people that you've had a relationship with. Like, even though, like you said, it wasn't physical, it was very close physical. They were very close, laying on each other, cuddling. That's very close, and if it makes anyone uncomfortable, I think you shouldn't invite people to the wedding. We kind of were talking about that on Darcy and Stacey, right? Like, don't invite people to your wedding that are making people feel uncomfortable. You don't want that. You want everybody to be happy, for not feeling like, ooh, I don't like that person's side-eye, and be like, that's not what you want at your wedding. So we're going to see how this goes. I'm excited. This was just the first episode, right? All this drama was just the first episode of the show, and it hasn't even really started. So we're going to see how Juan reacts to being a stepdad. And I'm kind of interested in that, because I don't know if he's ready for that. Being around pretty girls and serving them drinks all day, I don't know if that's a stepdad, So we're going to have to see how that goes. Plus, 4 people we haven't even met for the season. So that's how good this season is going to turn out. All right, guys, that's all the time we have for this episode of the George Mossey 90 Day Fiance, Love in Paradise, Season 3, Episode 1. Thank you so much to my co-host, DeeDee, for joining me I'm George Mossey. Make sure you're following me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, georgemossey.com, in any way you get your podcast. And make sure you look for this podcast again next week after the episode, because we're going to be talking about the whole season.